I was sitting in my favourite cafe on a quiet afternoon, the kind of day when the rain softly taps on the window and the world seems to slow down just a little bit. I had just finished a long day at work and all I wanted to do was relax. You know that feeling, right? When your mind is buzzing with all the things you've been doing and you just need a break. I walked in, and immediately the warm, rich smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. It's that feeling you get when you've been running around all day and then finally get to take a moment for yourself. As I walked up to the counter, the barista smiled at me. "What can I get for you today?" she asked, and I took a moment, debating whether I should go for my usual cappuccino or try something new. But before I could decide, I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Hey, long time no see." I turned around, and there, standing in front of me, was Mark, an old friend I hadn't seen in years. It was one of those moments where you just look at each other for a second, almost in disbelief. And then, without saying anything more, we both burst into laughter. It's funny, isn't it, how life can surprise you sometimes. Here I was, just trying to enjoy a quiet coffee, and suddenly I'm face to face with a friend from the past. We caught up for a few minutes, talking about old times, and before I knew it, we were sitting down together at a table, both of us with our coffee in hand. The conversation flowed easily, like it always does with old friends. It felt so natural, like we had never stopped talking. Mark told me about what he'd been up to recently, and I shared a bit about my life too. It was interesting how much had changed, yet how much felt the same. One of the things we talked about was the way life moves so fast, and how we sometimes forget to slow down and enjoy the little moments. "You know," Mark said, sipping his coffee, "I've been reading this book lately, The Art of Doing Nothing. It's all about slowing down and appreciating the simple things in life." That made me laugh. I joked, "I need that book. I'm always running around, never taking enough time to relax. Maybe I should join you for more coffee breaks like this." Mark grinned. "It's really about taking the time to enjoy the moment. You should definitely take a break more often. It helps you recharge." As we sat there chatting, I couldn't help but think about how true that was. How often do we really give ourselves permission to take a break? To just sit back, relax, and enjoy a cup of coffee or a good conversation? Sometimes life feels like it's always go, go, go. We work, we study, we check our phones, and before we know it, the day's over. But Mark had a point. Taking a break, just for a moment, could change everything. We all need those pauses in life to reset. Eventually, we started talking about our families. Mark mentioned that his sister had just had a baby and that it had brought a lot of joy to their family. He said there had been a lot of celebrations and family visits, and it was nice to be surrounded by everyone. Hearing him talk about his family made me think about my own. It's funny how much we change, but at the same time, how much stays the same. Family is always there, grounding us in ways we don't even realize sometimes. We spent the next hour just talking about everything and nothing. It was the kind of conversation that makes you realize how important it is to make time for those around you. Life's busy, but it's these little moments, these simple chats, that make it all worthwhile. When it was time to go, I felt a little lighter, a little more at peace. It's funny how a simple coffee break can teach you so much. Maybe it was the rain outside, the warm cup of coffee, or the old friend who reminded me to slow down. But whatever it was, it made me think. It made me realize that we often rush through our days, but it's in those quiet moments, in those pauses, that we find the things that really matter. As I walked out of the cafe, I promised myself I'd try to take more of those breaks. Not just for coffee, but for life. To pause, take a deep breath, and appreciate the simple things. And maybe next time I'll pick up that book, The Art of Doing Nothing. Who knows, it might be just what I need to help me slow down.